Hello. I'm making a video for my buddy Dante. Dante's Inferno. So anyway, I last night when I went to bed, I had to think about the conversations again from the chat room. Everything, when we talk to each other, it is life. It is like it doesn't give you that much time to actually introspect first before you comment, because so many people commenting and we're trying to stay within the time frame of communication, and I don't get enough time to actually think about what I'm writing. It is very much like coming out of my belly, and it comes out of my ego sometimes too. I'm not a god or goddess either, okay? So I just, that's like what I wanted to really say in that comment, is that the absolute vast majority of humans are not gods, okay, in any way, okay, particularly not in the soul developmental way. And I will get into the details of this later in my video. I just wanted to apologize right now to you because I felt really bad when I went to sleep and I thought about what I wrote and how this may have come across to you. And people accuse me of overthinking, but most people don't think enough about how they interact with other people. I think about it, but it happens too sometimes that I don't have enough time to think about it. Like when I write a letter to my parents, for example, I take hours to write that letter because I want to write that letter in the best way, emotionally, for them. I don't want to make them feel bad or anything. So I am very careful on how I word myself. In the chat room, I just don't have the time to do that. It is a live interaction. And the ego, sometimes the ego reacts. And so, yes, I wanted to say, we are not gods. I am not a god. I'm not a goddess. I am my soul developmental level is somewhere in the middle. I'm an indigo that is right in the middle. And I thought about yours, and I think from what I've seen, I think you are a light worker. So that is one level under the indigo. Okay, that's still somewhere in the middle. Okay, most people, the vast majority of humans, are baby souls. They're new souls, okay, that come into a human existence. They should, like I said in my other video, they should start with an evolutionarily more less developed, we'll say that, individual, like a spider or a cockroach, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they become greedy and they want to go into a human experience. And maybe this is a soul contract, because it reminds me a whole lot of Tony Robbins' audio tapes when he was talking about a lady who was abused as a child, and she was plucking her hair out, and he wanted her to do an affirmation, a self-affirmation, and they needed the audience to throw insults at her, and the people in the audience were kind of hesitant to do that because they didn't want to look bad, and but it didn't take very long until he got some of these guys in the front rows to throw insults at her, and then they went at it, and she was doing the self-affirmation, and that's what I do also. And that is enormously powerful. That is self-love. That is sunbeams of love. And it is, when I first heard him talk about this in the audio tapes, that was a long time ago in Los Angeles, it felt like my solar plexus was exploding, because I've never looked at it from that perspective before. I have always thought whatever other people say to me about me must be true. So this is an enormously amazing exercise. And in the chat room, this comes naturally. People don't have to be asked to throw the insults so that the other person can do the self-affirmation. The insults, they come at us, with like a hail. And the light worker soul still falls prey to that act out. Maybe not in the same viciousness as the baby souls, but still, And so that's really what I wanted to say is, let's not get all arrogant and think of ourselves as gods, or think of ourselves as we are part of, the infinite cosmos, thus we must be God. This is a very misconstructed inference that a lot of people are making in the world, particularly in the New Age, in the so-called spiritual community. This happens all the time with yoga teachers and gurus, and they want to think of themselves as gods. So for me, this always lights up a red flag, and I feel the need to say something. But in this situation, I should not have said anything. I should have said to you, yes, you are absolutely gorgeous, okay? You are gorgeous physically, a gorgeous God, okay? So, but soul-wise, we are definitely not. There are very, very, very few God-level souls and Buddha-level souls. I think the Buddha-level souls you can count on one hand. Those are the highest advanced souls. They are very, very close to merging back into the infinite cosmos, and then really being one with it, being that what you want to call God. So that is what the infinite cosmos is. And I'm so glad that Alex Tremo from northern Mexico has acknowledged that, what I said about this, so that we can find common ground with that. I don't know what your religious beliefs are, but I think you're probably religious, because most people are religious. So I hope you're not a Muslim. But whatever people believe, as long as they don't hurt anyone else. There may even be Muslims. I've even seen Muslims who are peaceful, who would never hurt a living being, who would never hurt a dog. There is a woman Muslim in Iran who is rescuing dogs. They're not even allowed from Sharia law to bring their dogs in the house. This is such an atrocity. This entire world out there of the Middle East. It is absolute horror. And that lady is rescuing dogs anyway, and she does everything she can to make it as comfortable as possible for those dogs that she rescues. And she has a big property, and she has also dog houses that are very comfortable with comfortable beds. She does everything she is allowed to do under Sharia law to make it as comfortable. And I'm sure she sits with them in those dog houses and pets them and loves them. And that lady, I would say that lady is a God level soul. Okay, it takes a God level soul to be able to manage this under those circumstances. Okay, very few of them in the world. I saw another Muslim man in the Middle East who was pulling out the Quran and using the good passages in it, as some people like Father John Deere does it with the Benedictine, or no, what is he? He is a Jesuit. Okay, what he does with the Bible, he does the same thing. So those are angel level souls, and they will take the good part of whatever their religious scriptures are, and they will talk about that and leave the other stuff out. To come into the back door and offer love and kindness with using the platform that people already know. So it takes a lot of intelligence, it takes a lot of compassion to do this, it takes a lot of patience to do this. Those people exist. The majority of people are religious in a very follower type of sense, and they don't think for themselves. There's a lot of things I wanted to talk about in this video. So yeah, I definitely want to apologize. I was being a bitch in the way I commented, and I should have just said, you are gorgeous, a gorgeous God physically. I don't know you very well, so what I see in the photo is that you're very, very good looking, and I don't understand why you think you are ugly. This is very sad, makes me very sad. You and Uncle Thanos have a lot in common, okay, a lot, more than you think, okay, so, and I know that Uncle Thanos would be, underneath the fat layer, would be a very good looking, attractive, hot man, okay, but he doesn't believe it because he has not been loved as a child. You haven't been loved as a child. I haven't been loved as a child. Michael Jackson had a tyrant father. Okay. I saw interviews with the mother, and she reported about that he has always felt ugly. Okay. And he wasn't ugly at all. He was the cutest kind of guy you can possibly imagine before the first surgery. Okay, the cutest love muffin, and then he thinks of himself as ugly, and I think this is infinitely sad. And people will, Hollywood, it's another religion, they dictate to us who is hot and who is not, who is a dork and who is a gorgeous god or goddess, so don't listen to those people. They have nothing to say to the world. That's a commercial, that's a corporate commercial. The entire movie industry in Hollywood, they're there to brain muddy the public. That's what they're for. They're working for the corporate agenda. Has been like this for a very, very long time. They misused Marilyn Monroe for that as well. And she is an angel level soul, okay? And she suffered horrendously under that Hollywood society and these movie producers that only see dollar signs. So she was a very, very sensitive woman, okay? So That's what I should have said to you. You are gorgeous. You are a gorgeous God physically. Okay? I can't really say much about your soul level. I don't know you enough for this. But from what I see, I think you are a light worker soul. Okay? That is the third level of soul development. So this is what I established many years ago, I don't know, about 6 years ago or so. I established these 8 levels of soul development. The very first level is the stagnator soul. I just gave it that name because they seem to be stagnators. They seem to stagnate, in everything they do. They seem to not want to be learning anything. They don't want to introspect. They just want to run away from their pain all the time because they don't know better. Okay, they haven't had any lifetime experiences. Some of them come straight from the stream of sorrow. Jiddu Krishnamurti talks about it. The stream of sorrow is another dimension. It is there. And out of that, there's just so much sorrow, there's so much suffering. And when people make the world worse, they feed back into this loop, We need to dissolve that stream of sorrow. We actually, potentially could dissolve the stream of sorrow. Then we can all get on the healing path, and we can turn the world into a paradise here on Earth, on Mars, on the Moon, and beyond. Venus too, Pluto, many other moons and planets we can make into a paradise, or space stations. We can create a paradise. The main thing is that people don't destroy life anymore, that they're respectful to each other, and it starts with the way we verbally and in written form interact with each other. Okay, that's where the Cold War is happening, with the word wars on the internet. Okay, that needs to dissolve. It starts with you. It starts with me, okay? And I'm not perfect, Again, most people in the chat room are somewhere, they're somewhere dabbling in the middle, or in the beginning. And that's okay. That's where we're at in our soul development. But we have to work on ourselves, okay? This is very important. We can't just lean back and say, oh, whatever, like Uncle Thanos, eating meat in massive amounts, drinking alcohol and taking drugs. That's not obviously moving us, that's not moving us forward, okay? That's just hiding. That's not taking responsibility. And insulting people back and forth, that's not taking responsibility at all. That just makes things more and more inflamed. Okay. And you think, oh, this is just a pillow fight, or, oh, it's nothing, it's just a chat room. No, we're real people in this chat room, okay? Even the trolls was fake accounts. Even Jasmine was Z. Jasmine pretending, Jasmine the catfisher. Probably a real good-looking black guy. So I busted him. He's a black dude. He says he's a dude in the sheets. And a woman on the internet, a catfisher. Yes. So the world is full of those. There's still living human beings behind that computer, right? Well, however fake, more fake, convoluted fake, there's still a human behind that computer. Okay? And it doesn't matter how fake he feels, or she, or what they identify with, or whether they identify with that at all, or whether this is just some kind of money scam. that's still a human behind that keyboard or tablet or whatever. So, and I treat them as those because they don't know what they're doing. They're in despair. They're in financial despair. Their health is bad. They're taking drugs. They're alcoholics. They're taking bath salts. They act out with other people, trolling, bullying, insulting non-stop. It's the ego things that puts the ego a little bit, that elevates the ego or something. It makes them feel like a lion. But it's an illusion. It's not truth, obviously, you know. Truth is packing it out. Truth is, I'm at least trying to do the truth, you know. I have an ego too, you know. My ego gets bruised, you know. I feel rejected. I have insecurities, you know. I have jealousy. I got all of this, you know. So I see you in love with another woman and I'm jealous, you know. So I'm not coming on to you with this. I'm just sharing how I feel. So this is the truth, you know. And I was a little bit arrogant, and I said, I'm not gonna pay attention to him anymore. Whatever, that doesn't bother me, but it does. It does bother me in the back of my head. Okay, it bothers me for weeks, and then when you say something like you're a god, gorgeous God, then the ego comes and wants to retaliate, and I see this with so many people happening. Okay, so and it makes me sad that I'm a little bit of a double standard, pointing out this very thing in other people, and then I do it myself as well. But at least I caught myself doing it. Later, after I left the chat room, I realized, oh man, shit, I did it too. I fell into that ego trap as well, and I became a bitch, and I was like, haha, I don't care what you think, but you know, in truth, I absolutely do. That's just the ego talking, saying, oh, I'm above all of this, and who do you think you are, you arrogant, whatever, you know. And the truth is, that the absolute truth is, you are gorgeous, and you should love yourself, and by me being a bitch, I'm just hurting back into the same pain that you already have, and that made me feel real bad. And I was thinking about this, and I thought about it when I woke up too. So I decided to make a video about it, to clarify all of these things. Okay, so I hope I can clarify all of these things, all of these interactive dynamics, and what's going on inside of our brains, inside of our minds. Okay, so very important that we become aware about it. That is the inwardness process. That is actually a meditation by itself. My videos are a meditation, and I gotta remind myself to breathe, you know, breathe, not be holding the breath, not be suspended, you know. Sometimes when we have anxiety, the breathing can become very shallow, and that's not good for the lungs or for our system. So breathe, all the way through the abdomen and hold the breath. And the Iceman Wim Hof, he has one that actually the Navy SEALs are doing when they are trying to get their bodies warm. When it's really cold, they breathe in all the way through the abdomen, they hold their breath, they breathe out slowly, and then after they breathe out, they also hold for a few seconds before they breathe back in. And they also recommend not to overeat, and that's very difficult for me because I like to eat, but to not eat like all day long binging on stuff, but let the body also get a little bit hungry and then eat, because just like with the oxygen, then we can take in all the nutrients and the oxygen if we do it that way, so that's this is very good health advice for you guys, so I needed to say this is very important to me. And what else did I want to talk about? I want to say that I care about you guys, okay? I care about all of you. As a friend, as a buddy, as a mother, okay? I am the mother of all living beings. So the very first soul developmental level is the stagnator soul, but in truth, they don't stagnate. It seems like it only. So it's just a nickname. And this is just a really, really rough sorting out the different levels. There's certainly more levels. There are indefinitely more levels, because we're constantly evolving within each level. But I'm just giving these 8 broad levels to bring more understanding to what it means for our souls to evolve. And the soul is not your body. The soul is in your body. The soul can, when you take off your spacesuit as a man, Dante, you go into the Orion Nebula. People call it heaven, okay? And there's no hell. Hell is here on earth. Hell is what the ego creates here on earth, okay? So you go into the infinite cosmos, wherever you feel comfortable. You float around and you get bored and you want to come back into another living being or any kind of existence. It could also be in crystal form, okay? That too will eventually fall apart, okay? Eventually, fall into the sun or something. But there'll be trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of light years, okay? So this is not the people talk about like this, the dangerous sun. No, the sun is our life giver, okay? We need to worry about the environment on Earth right now. That's what people are destroying. So the sun, we want the sun to give us sun energy, and that's why we need these good people like Elon Musk and that guy in Norway who is creating the supercapacitors to be capturing that energy from the sun and storing it, okay? So we need those people. So question the evangelical corporate agenda and the Muslim agenda. Those religions work hand and foot into the corporate agenda. The corporate agenda loves that brain muddying and this indoctrination. They love it because they know with that they can puppeteer people around. They can't puppeteer you around if you think for yourself, okay? Questioning things and thinking for yourself and being independent and gathering knowledge and information and then questioning all of this and then coming to your own conclusions. That's power. That's empowerment. Once you do that, you will not feel like anyone is walking on you anymore like a rug. I guarantee that to you. I guarantee that to all people. Okay. No one is walking on you like a rug. Nobody. You think that because that's what you were told. The corporate agenda, they rub that in. They throw fuel into that fire. Because then they have their volunteer army to do their dirty work. Black Lives Matter is the perfect example for that. Antifa. The Muslim agenda. Think outside of that. That's not your identification. Okay, they want you to identify with that. Don't do it. Don't cater to them. Okay. You are you, a precious living being. And you have kindness and you believe in it. You have. I've seen that. I've seen your kindness. You have sensitivity in you. And I want you to become happy, And that's not cringe. I know people, Gavin, will say, cringe, cringe, cringe. No, it's not cringe or cheesy or whatever. No, that's love, okay? Love is not cringe. Love is the ultimate power. Love is the infinite cosmos, okay? My mother love for you guys is in tune with the infinite cosmos, sunbeams of love for all of us. We must love ourselves. We must love our bodies, There are people that are making fun of me in the chat room for loving my body. And I know they're women, okay? They're making fun of me. They're probably also jealous that I love my body and they don't. Okay? I don't know how they look like, but I love my body, and they probably think I shouldn't because they don't. So they're jealous of that I have that deep, infinite love for my body. And it doesn't matter, how we look like when we love our bodies. I don't have to look like Marilyn Monroe to love my body, okay? I can look in any way I want to, okay? I can look the way I look genetically, okay? And I can love my body and be infinitely grateful for it. Yeah, and as Maverick pointed out, Nikki, I see you are insecure. Dude, yeah? We all are, okay? We all have insecurities. We all feel like, what are they gonna think about me? What if I date him and then he sees the fat roll on my belly, and then what? And my gosh, all of these things, men do it too. Men inject themselves with Botox into their chests, and how horrific. What is self-abuse, okay? Just so that they can look hotter or something. You don't need to do that. There's no need to do that. There's no need to do plastic surgery. Power is when you get wrinkles and not do this plastic surgery, for women in particular. But for men too, they do all kinds of shit to themselves. There are men out there, particularly those that used to be always looking good in the porn industry and in the entertainment industry in general, and then when they get older, all that insecurity comes crashing in, and then they feel like they need to manipulate their physical bodies. It's very sad. all of this. That's not power. Okay. Power is if you... Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think he is the coolest, When Arnold Schwarzenegger recently publicly said when he looks in the mirror he doesn't like himself, and I think this is so refreshingly honest, At least he's really honest about this and has the guts to talk about this publicly. That's what I want to see. That's what I want people to do, And then the next step is to really love yourself just the way you are. I have a role model. Her name is Vivienne Westwood. She is the queen of punk. Okay. She was married to Malcolm McLaren, and she has a Prince Charming now. He's actually my age, and she is way in her 70s. And she always, with that English accent, she said, "My Prince Charming." This is so cute, And I thought, how amazing. She has that Andreas. He's also from Germany. And how amazing is that Andreas, to take her and still love her with all the wrinkles. And for her to never do surgery and say, the heck with all of this. The heck with this, the social peer pressure and all of this. She's the queen of punk, She can stand her ground without any of that BS. She's gorgeous the way she is. Getting older, Awesome. Fantastic. She's a fashion designer and she's just incredible. She's an animal rights activist. She's an environmentalist. She's a peace activist. Okay. She wants to help everyone. She wants to make the world a better place. That's a God-level soul, by the way. Okay, that's a very advanced soul. Awesome. That's my role model for me getting older. Okay, so I want to do it the same way. It takes a lot of guts, but I want to take these guts out. I want to have those guts too. I really do. I think that's absolutely, that is fantastic, stellar to do that. To be true to yourself at all times. Never kid yourself with anything. Pack it all out. And when the feelings come up, sit with it in meditation. You can always talk to me about it, because I understand and I'll never make fun of anyone. Ever, ever, ever. Okay. I already said that many times in my videos. I would never bully anyone. I would never use your vulnerable things or your confidential things ever in any way against you, and I will never discuss this with someone else. So that's a therapist in me. Okay, I'm trained as that. I was trained as a therapist for many years, and I'm doing my own therapy. And when stuff comes up, I deal with it right away. Okay, and sometimes the ego is a little bit, keeps it in suspension, but I will figure it out sooner or later, as I did now last night. It's like, I did it. Oh man, no way. So, but yeah, then I feel bad. I feel sorry, and I see. Then I can see your perspective on it, and I acknowledge your freedom, and it wasn't your fault ever. Okay, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just that I was jealous. Okay, then the feelings come up. Okay, then the ego comes in and says, no, I don't care. That's a mistake. Okay, I do care. And it hurts, and I need to sit with it in meditation. And I need to say, it hurts. To myself, to the wall, to my artwork. It hurts. It hurts. Okay, I start with the present. Okay, that's what we learned in primotherapy. It was very, very, very life-saving for me to do primotherapy. I don't recommend it anymore today. They're making too many mistakes. And it's a lopsided therapy. So we need to go into our journal's footsteps for sure, but it has to also be, it is an open and ongoing process. The therapy is not a finished project. The therapy is evolving, okay, and I need to help it evolve, okay. And Tony Robbins' approach is very, very vital coming into it. My friend Rachel from Israel, back in LA, Paul showed her the book by Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. She was in primotherapy, and we saw her at the coffee shop with her boyfriend, and we showed her the book, and she was like, no, because it's like, it goes against her religion. Her religion is primotherapy. Then we have to be very, very careful not to fall into anything as a form of, this is now our identification, this is our religion, this is our code, or something. And primotherapy was becoming a cult for a lot of people, John Lennon included. Okay, very dangerous, very, very dangerous development. Don't let anything drive you into a cult. Okay, that's a terrible mistake to make. So, and I didn't know what to say then at the coffee shop. I just thought, oh, so maybe these two approaches are sort of like excluding each other. And I had to think about this for many, many years. And then I finally came to the conclusion they don't exclude each other. Not at all. And Buddhism, Buddhism as a philosophy, not as a religion. Buddhism as a philosophy, what was taught by Gautama Buddha, what is taught by Thich Nhat Hanh, that's the inwardness process, that is mindfulness, that's yoga, that's Kundalini Tantra, that is emptying the brain. The moment we become honest with ourselves, we are emptying our brain out. We are throwing out all the debris, all that clutter from society, the muddying clutter, all the mud from Hollywood and from talk radio and from the religions. Okay, so we're throwing all of that out. We're pruning it out, and then we're zooming in on the stuff that actually works, that actually matters. That is, you need to love yourself. You need to love all living beings. You need to stop all act-outs. All act-outs are bad. Most act-outs are very, very unbeneficial for others, for the whole world. And when we go into meditation, we go into our own minds, then we can see the things for what they actually are, and we can throw out the stuff that doesn't work at all. And we can feel it in our solar plexus, and we have to breathe. It's very important to breathe while you're meditating. And look at that, what wants to be seen, which is your inner child, which is your childhood trauma, okay, that wants to be seen, that wants to be felt for the first time, it feels strange. And Tony Robbins' approach comes in as a contrast. We're practicing self-affirmation. We're practicing the contrast, the good contrast to the bad contrast. Esther Hicks calls adversity contrast. So contrast can be either this or that. Could be beneficial contrast, could be unbeneficial contrast. So adversity, unbeneficial contrast is that what most people practice on a daily basis and they don't even know it. By watching horror movies, you're practicing unbeneficial contrast, and you're not doing yourself any favor with it. You're just hurting yourself. So this message goes out to W.C. Davis and Uncle Thanos, which I think are the same person, and I have the feeling Patrick is the same person as well. So I'm not sure, but whether they're the same person or not, the message is still the same. It goes out to each one of those characters. And all people, this goes to all people. Working on yourself emotionally like I do is power. And that's not power over others. Don't misunderstand power as power over others. That's a common misunderstanding. True power is the power of love. Power of love. And then some people they say kill with love. That's a contradiction. That's an oxymoron. It's like healthy drug addict. It's an oxymoron. It's a contradictory term. You love with love. You don't kill with love. You love with love. Love is power. Not power over others. Love is giving. I give to you. I give sunbeams of love. And healing. That's love. I'm a dog mother. I'm the mother of all living beings. I'm Big Mama, giving love to all of you living beings out there. So, but I want to go back to the soul developmental levels. The first level I nicknamed the stagnator soul. But they are constantly evolving too. They're constantly taking in information and learning too. And they're learning from their experiences. They're learning from being humbled, being grounded, literally grounded to earth, and also grounded in an emotional way, so humbled down by daily living, by making mistakes, by being rejected, and so on. Someone like my brother who's almost never rejected. My brother's almost never rejected by anyone. I see that as a very tragic happening. So it's tragic because how is he gonna humble down and get grounded? He can't, right? I saw him get grounded once. That was after his car accident and when he ended up in a drug rehab. He didn't tell me the truth about all of this. I see you. I see through my brother. I see through all of you, I put puzzle pieces together. So there's a lot of shame in this, Shame needs to be dissolved. We need to pack it out. Pride needs to be dissolved. Pride is the same as shame. Pride sits on the foundation of shame. It's the same energy. It needs to be dissolved. If we don't dissolve this, we're never going to end the wars in the world. So it starts with you, with every one of you guys, every one of you girls. It starts with me. And I'm tired of all of these games. I'm not ever gonna play these games anymore. I'm here to pack it out. It doesn't matter if it's called cringe or cheesy or embarrassing. Yes, it's very embarrassing, all of this. But we have to start somewhere. At least start somewhere. Let's use the internet for that. So the second level of soul development is the student of life. Okay, the student of life is starting to learn things and starting to recognize patterns and things and truths and non-truths. Starting, that's the beginning. Okay. The third level, that's what you are, Dante. That is the light worker. Okay, the light worker understands love here and there. Okay, sees the sparks of the sunbeams of love. Sees someone who is sensitive and someone who needs love and will be there to give his shoulder to someone to cry on. Okay, so keep doing it. You're on the right track with it. Okay, don't fall back into insulting or into playing retaliation games or something with anyone. If you feel rejected or if you feel sad, say it, pack it out. You know? Can you imagine if every one of us, Uncle Thanos too, if every one of us would pack this out, this stuff? And Andrew Weaver the first, whoever that guy is, you know. Pack it out. Can you imagine if we all packed it out? Let's start with this group that we have here established. Okay, the group therapy. Let's start with that. You will be very amazed how this can snowball into making the world a better place. It starts with very, very simple things sometimes. Okay, it starts with you. Okay, with your commitment to make things better. If you become honest, you have no idea how that is going to affect other people in a beneficial way. I have seen it many times. I have saved people from committing suicide. I have told people to take their dogs for a walk many, many, many times. Some of them did. Okay? That saved some dogs from a bladder infection and a horrible death. Don't do this to your dogs. Don't lock them up. Don't go on the internet and abandon your dog somewhere in the house who desperately needs to go to the bathroom. Okay? You have to be there for your animal. That's your responsibility. Okay? That's my message to the world. Help me bring this message to the world. That's love. That's what love is. That's true love. Okay, true love is compassion, is empathy for all living beings. Okay, let's give that. And some people are resistant to it. And my message to them is do it anyway, even if you're resistant, and see what emotions come up. You know, all the Muslims out there. Be kind to a dog. See what emotions come up. Be kind to a dog. Forget about that shit religion. Forget about that brutal violence, Sharia law. Listen to the infinite cosmos. You call that Allah. Okay. In Germany, we have the word alles, which translates into everything. Yeah. We call the infinite cosmos Allah, which is related to the word alles, which is related to the word everything. But there's no such thing as everything. You know, everything comes from a very linear finality way of thinking. There is no linearity and there is no finality. It is endlessness. It is infinity. It's the infinite cosmos, the blue God, and with that there is no beginning and no end. And with that there is no rounding up of something. There is no end of, there is no end all, there is no all, there is no everything. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the truth. It is the logical truth. It's a mathematical logic. Okay, that's what it is. Infinity is the blue God, and we're part of it. We're players. That doesn't mean we are God. No, we are players in this. We are souls on the soul learning journey within the infinite cosmos. The person who's going to join into the infinite cosmos, the one who's going to do it next, and I think there are two people that are going to after this lifetime, and that is Bomjan from India, who teaches compassion in Sanskrit, and Elon Musk, okay, coming from a very different viewpoint and lifestyle and way of thinking. Both are Buddha level souls, the most advanced souls there are. Okay, and there's no need for you guys out there to compete with him and to feel jealous of him. It is what it is. You need to love yourself the way you are. Okay, so no need to be jealous of someone who is more advanced soul wise, or way more intelligent. It is so. It's okay. Okay, love yourself anyway. Okay, no matter how intelligent or unintelligent someone is. We all have an innate intelligence in us. All beings have that. Don't compete with rocket scientists and their IQs. Okay, so wherever you're at, whatever you have in this lifetime, make the best out of that what you have. You could be very intelligent with a real big brain. Some people have a real big brain and they make nothing out of it. They end up on the street, homeless, some of them. I've met those. We were traveling with our motorhome, with our former dog Samantha, when we sold the house in LA. We wanted to see everything first before we relocate. And we met a lot of people. We met a lot of van dwellers people and full-time RVers and those type of people, and some homeless people, and we talked to all of them. And there was a homeless man, older man, at a rest stop, and very quickly I got to realize this man is a highly intellectual person. How did he get to this situation? He got there because of alcoholism. Okay. He used to be a college professor. Highly intellectual, very sensitive, read thousands of books. Okay. Good grammar. What happened? I don't know. Wife left him or something, and he fell off the deep end. Started drinking. How sad. How sad to let some asshole drive him into a ruin like this. We don't have to do that. Even with the California law, that is very, 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 very biased against the male, because the woman is given way more legal rights in terms of taking, after the divorce, taking his money and his possessions and whatever. I would never do something like this. This is my compassion would not allow it. I'd never do that. If I walk away from here, the most I would take with me is the van. Okay, so because he deserves his money, and the lawyers don't deserve the money, and if I leave, why should I deserve some, But I deserve a little bit, the van, but do I want to live in the van? That's the big question here. That's a big $5 question. So, the uncertainty out there now more than ever with the pandemic and the riots, I don't think so. I'm not so sure. I've been beaten up by men. My trust level is not the highest. Okay, so I have to take all of this into consideration. So, for me in my life, my main priority is my animal. I don't have an animal right now. I don't have an animal in my life. There are animals that I visit, okay, as friends, but they're not my animals. I mean, they're my children, of course, because I'm the mother of all living beings. But they're not in my custody, so I don't have an animal in my custody. But if I had an animal in my custody, that would be my priority. The second priority, the secondary priority, is my body and myself. Okay, so I have to protect myself. And now we're over an hour. Okay, so I wanna wrap this up now with the soul levels. So after the light worker level comes the indigo. That's where I'm at. Okay, I'm somewhere in the middle, being an indigo. The next level is angel level, and I've met many, and I'm deeply grateful that I've met those. They have contributed very much to my life. And after that comes the God level soul, and after that comes the Buddha level soul. So, and after that comes Nirvana, the infinite cosmos. Okay, the blue God. Okay, so those are my 8 levels of soul development. Let's make the best out of where we're at. Okay, so you guys take care. I love you very, very much.